Ah, the Aurora, the little tadpole of the verse. Some people seem to be of the opinion that the Aurora is pure garbage. Other people say, hey, all you ever need to spend is $45 and the Aurora is the best starting ship that you can get, so just get it and go. Now, is this true? Is either of these things true? Well, I have an Aurora only account, and although I don't have the Aurora MR, I did upgrade it to the Aurora LN. It's still an Aurora, and it's the only thing I have on that account, and I find that account very fun to play. In fact, I usually have more fun playing on that account where I have to earn everything than I do the account with all the ships I purchased. Now, if you're watching this, you're probably one of three people. Either you just bought an Aurora starter package and you're here to see what to expect from the ship, or you're thinking about buying into the game and you're wondering about buying the Aurora starter package, or the third type of person, a veteran of the verse that's here to judge my knowledge and see just how bad my opinion stinks. Now, hopefully, I can avoid disappointing any of the three of you. So let's get on with it, shall we? First off, the Aurora is capable of running all types of missions. What types of missions? Well, some examples include, but are not limited to, time-sensitive cargo missions like this one.
Here's a FedEx employee handling with care unloading a couple boxes. Look at that trash box inside. That's what looks my delivery. That's probably my delivery on there. Here comes another box. Great care and handling from FedEx. Nice. Absolute worst damn. I mean, look at this crap. How? It's just crazy how they can tear up. How can you tear up a box that much?
You can do investigations to find missing bodies or investigate wrecks. I would avoid doing the caves though. I mean, that's just my preference. You can do whatever you want, but I think they're time consuming and not worth it. But, you know, whatever floats your boat. But the quick ones where you just run over to a crash, not so bad. You can even do bunker missions, like the one on Hurston called Evict Illegal Occupants, which you can find under the Mercenary tab. On your way in, there's going to be a couple turrets that are trying to take out your little tadpole. Being as you're not feeling too froggish, you may not want to leap right on those turrets. If you come in at an angle, don't fly straight at them. Make sure you have a little bit of a strafe going. You can avoid their fire. Find you something to get behind, like a rock. Park yourself behind that. They won't be able to fire on your little tadpole. Jump out of your Aurora, run in on foot, smoke those dudes. Run back out, get in your Aurora, take off, and if I was you, I would set my shields to the rear a little bit, so that if you do take it in the ass on your way up, it won't take you completely out. Alright, whatever, Explodo, but what about combat? Can I do any kind of combat mission? I can't do any kind of bounty hunting or anything like that, right?
Wrong.
Claims, jumpers, sentry turrets, fighters, cuddies.
Let's go do some Star Wars, baby!
Linus.
Left off backspace!
Connies. But wait, Exploder, you're telling me you can just go around killing everything with an Aurora? No, I'm not. You can kill a lot of things. You can get involved in the combat missions, you can have a good time, but no, you can't kill everything. There are some things you're going to have to run from, but don't be scared. Like you can see here, I noticed that there was off to the side, somebody must have died doing a mission near me. There was a hammerhead and a vanguard and something else over there. for a mission that I wasn't doing, and I flew over and just took a shot at all of them. They were unable to do anything to me. I was able to outfly all the NPCs trying to kill me there and get away safely with minimum damage. So even the stuff you can't kill, you can harass. You can join in with other people and fight for sure. So, you know your limits, but at the same time, it's very capable of getting involved in any combat situation. But still don't expect to be out there, you know, doing player bounties, hunting other players down. That might not go so well for you, but I mean, you can try it. You might get you a couple kills eventually. Really depends on the luck of the draw, what type of player you get on the player bounty. If they're a hardened PvPer that are out there with a crime stat hoping people come try to kill them, they're gonna dust you. But if it's somebody like some Care Bear Space Dad that doesn't get into combat at all, that got a crime stat through some mishap, he's liable to take a beating from you if he's in something really small. But you know, I wouldn't count on that. I'd just stay away from him. After a few minutes of harassing the hammerhead, you'll see I just break off and bolt away to a safe distance and then QT away, which is what you're going to do most of the time. I did have some footage where I got quantum interdicted a couple times by NPC pirates, and I blew up all the littler ships, and then there was like a starfarer that I was having trouble getting down, and I got bored with him and flew off. Always, it's the same strategy. If you get caught in that type of situation, take out the ship that's keeping you QT locked and speed off, or speed off as fast as you can. When they try to joust with you, fly through them and just keep going as fast as you can the opposite way to create enough distance that you break the QT lock and you can QT away. It's the same thing, but this video is getting kind of long, so I don't want to go through all that. But you can get yourself out of those quantum interdiction situations with an Aurora just as easy. I've been playing a while. I use the dual sticks and I have the head track and all that, so I've got a little setup. But I mean, your results may vary a little bit if you're a newer player and using a different control setup, but once you get to know your control setup and the limits of your ship and your weapons and all that, you can begin to get the same results out of the ship and push the limits and boundaries of what it's capable of doing. Full disclosure, as I mentioned before, I am flying the LN, not the MR, and as you can see here on the DPS calculator for the stock fits, the LN has a little bit less shield toughness and it has a little more DPS with stock setup, but I'll go into detail here about why I think the LN is the way to go, and why I think, personally, in my opinion, even though you don't need anything but the Aurora MR, I would always start with the LN, which, as you can see here, is only a $10 upgrade from the base MR. For me, that's the base entry of the game, because I'm not flying the MR over the LN. That's just my preference though, and here's why. On the base MR here, you can see that it comes with the 2 yellow jackets on it. Now you can put 2 more gimbaled yellow jackets on it, as you can see, and that'll increase your DPS to 853. So on the missile racks, you can go to 1 size 2, 2 size 1s, and that's your 2 choices, right? But when we look over at the LN, I can go to a split pip type setup, as we call it, what we call a split pip setup. You can go to 2 fixed size 2s, and you can run 2 size 2s and 2 size 1s. Now you can run these to fix too, but you can't get a bigger size out of them, so I just leave them gimbaled. I don't even bother changing the bulldog repeaters, although there is other options obviously, but I just leave them the same. So what I usually go to here, what I was flying, is the Scorpion GT 215s. And now here's another difference here. You can see its stock setup comes with 4 missiles on the missile racks. You can go to a 481 and get a complete 4-head full of missiles. That's up to you, but I do run the I just run the stock 4. But as you can see now, I've got 1,028 damage. It's not a lot more than the 854, but it's something, you know. I enjoyed that a lot better. The reason it's called a split pip setup is because when you're running 2 fixed and 2 gimbals and you have it in auto gimbal mode, you'll get the auto gimbaled circle that if you stay close to it, the 2 on gimbals will automatically track and target within that circle. But you get a small square that you have to hit that is for the fixed. So it gets a little confusing for some people. They don't like split pip setups. I don't mind it. I would rather run a split pip if over a full fixed if I have the option and I'm not going to gain any bigger size out of it. I just focus on the fixed weapon square, which will merge with the circle. If you only see the circle, they're merged together. It's something you'll learn to play with, but focus on making sure the fixed weapons are hitting within the little square pip, and the auto tracking gimbaled weapons will do their job. Don't focus on them, and that's basically the concept of running a split pip. Now, if you're on the DPS calculator, all you have to do is hit send non-stock items to cart. Then you can go to your cart and you can see exactly what you need to pick up and where you can pick these items up in the verse and make your little shopping list. You run a few missions, you start outfitting your ship. You can see here what I was running on the LN. That was pretty much my setup. For my non-stock parts, and that's full disclosure the difference of what I was flying over the basic MR. You can run these same exact components except for the GT215s. You'd have to run all yellow jackets or something similar. At the end of the day, I find the Aurora to be one of my favorite ships in the game, because when I start with the Aurora and I'm playing with the Aurora, everything I earn is much more rewarding. There is a such thing as kind of spinning yourself out of progression. This game isn't really pay to win, but if you slowly over time acquire all the ships that you want for real money, you eventually get to a situation where you don't have anything to progress through other than reputation and bank account in the game, which it's not as rewarding as buying a ship that you earned with an Aurora. There's something satisfying about that. I mean, I guess it depends on the type of person you are, but you really don't need anything else. You really don't have to spend any more money than that, and I find it really more exciting sometimes to push the limits of a smaller ship. It's more exhilarating to nearly escape a situation than it is to just squash everything around you constantly and easily. So, again, I believe it depends on the person on whether they'll be satisfied with that, but keep that in mind. Think about the risk of spinning yourself out of progression, and think about the rewards of earning things. And if that seems more appealing than you, then I really wouldn't spend any more money than an Aurora. I would go to the LN, but that's just my suggestion. It's not necessary, and I just wouldn't do anything else than that. The Aurora's a fantastic ship. Explore the verse, get into everything, have a good time, and it's all you'll ever need. Don't let anybody pick on your little tadpole.